है ना? सब पे आ जाएगा, यूट्यूब पे सब पे आ जाएगा ये भी. ओके ओके, ऑलराइट, थैंक्स.
Hi, Amit. Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hi, Amit. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you please rename yourself, Sujay?
Sure. What's my name, though?
So your full name and your company name.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Hitesh, can you hear us?
I can. Hope I'm audible as well.
You're audible, perfectly audible.
Yeah, let me just start my video.
Hi, Hitesh.
Hello. Hey, Sujay.
So we are already live on YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. And I will start the webinar in 3 minutes.
That's a lot of pressure, man.
Agree.
I'm sure you're used to it.
I'm not sure of that, but yeah. Like, as people say, yesterday's home runs don't win today's matches. So yesterday's pressure was yesterday's. Like, it's a new match. You need to perform on this one too.
Absolutely, and Sachin Tendulkar said that you're only as good as your last performance.
Exactly.
So all I would request you guys, I think we also have Nakul joining in, the CTO of Easygov and EasyGov, and all I would request you is your 100% attention, undivided attention. These are all I ask for. I know Sujay is very difficult to give your 100% attention to something.
No. One thing I can make sure that I'm not writing code while I'm talking to you, because then whoever is looking at my PR, that person will scream at me as to what the hell have you written. So 100% attention. What I'm doing is actually I take notes. So when we are talking right now, I was writing some notes. So yeah.
That is fine. That's part of giving 100%.
Maybe, yeah. Yeah, I have this habit of scribbling a lot of stuff. So because I don't remember a lot of things, so I have to write.
They say if you're listening to something and if you're writing, it stays with you, and if you're writing, it stays with you for almost 1 month.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you're not writing, it just goes off in few hours.
Yeah.
Even if you do.
Maybe it is a sign of growing old also. So earlier I used to remember more things than.
Yeah, I guess it's more about retention. Like it goes to your um, memory, from memory to storage, basically. You can retain it for longer, right?
Yes.
I'm sure. I'm
And
sure.
Hitesh, just a pre-warning, Sujay has a very different sense of humor. I just use the word different because we're live already.
That's good.
Yeah, but keep it, retain it. We'll use it.
Yeah, totally.
All right, so we go live here. So in 5 we go live, and we go also start recording. All right. If my team is watching, can you please check with Nakul? Oh yeah, he's there. That's so cute, right? Yeah.
Right on time.
Just in time.
Hi, Nakul.
Hi.
Just like any other government body, just in time.
I was struggling from long actually. Then I called Tanmay to send me the link. So.
Okay. All right. So Nakul, just let me just quickly rename you. We're already live.
Sure.
I will make it quick. So if you can check the spelling of your name, Nakul. Vashishth.
Another like second S would be followed by H.
Okay. Second S would be followed by H. HT.
Right. HTH. Rest is okay. Just second is again SH.
SHTH.
Correct.
Okay. Here you go.
Perfect.
Excellent. Thank you so much, my fabulous speakers. We're going to have some good fun for next 60 minutes. I would just request you for your 100% undivided attention. I know that's difficult in these times, but yeah, it's a big ask. I know that. So all I need is your phone. Okay. If you just give me your phone for an hour, I get your attention, right? Yeah. So Sujay understood it. So just turn your phone upside down and perhaps switch it off or put it on flight mode, do whatsoever. Give me your 100% undivided attention. Yes, I think I have it now. Superb. Guys, we have some fabulous audience on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, on Zoom as well. And we're live. Hi, you can wave your hands.
Hello.
Fine. All right. Excellent. So let me introduce our first speaker, Sujay, because Sujay was the guy who came first, and then Nakul, and then Hitesh, and then Nakul. Sujay is a CEO of a company called Cloudonix. Okay, and he's also a founder of the company Cloudonix, and they're helping. They help companies reduce the risk around compliance in IAM and cloud. With an increasing number of cloud environments, account regions, and providers in an organization, InfoSec teams find it challenging to improve the security posture. Cloudonix makes their life easy. They're backed by a Y Combinator and some fabulous investors. And Sujay lives in India and is also in a hiring mode. So guys, if you want to apply to Cloudonix, this is the right time. Okay. All right. Our next speaker is Hitesh. Hitesh is an information security practitioner with over 16 plus of experience in cloud in various information security streams like cloud security, application security, container security, DevOps, security risk. The security word came 10 times. He has wide experience in building and delivering security programs in financial firms. And he's also currently working as a cybersecurity expert in a US-based asset management company. Welcome, Hitesh. Thank you so much for giving this time to us. Nakul is again an engineer. He has over 14 plus of experience, and he is a he's a hardcore hard tech guy, software tech guy, and he has been working in several companies. Currently, he's working with as a CTO with Easygov, Easygov or Easygov.
Easygov.
Easygov. So Easygov is basically Reliance, a geo-backed platform, which is helping people to derive their entitlements, if I can say so, from the government of India. And Easygov is going to help you get your entitlement from the government of India. Superb job there. And by the way, Easygov is also ranked as #1 AI platform in the country in the Go governance by NASSCOM. Superb stuff happening in the country. And thank you, Nakul. I'm going to keep the paper aside and let's make the conversation real. All right. So Sujay is smiling. Let me go to Sujay first. Sujay, we're going to start from basics and then we're going to fly. Okay, we're going to increase our level of communication and the level of difficulty gradually. So let me ask you the first question. Cloud. So the topic for today is cloud. What's in the cloud? Okay. Let me ask you the most basic question. What is cloud? A lot of misconceptions are there around cloud. What is goddamn cloud?
So if you were to ask me the first question, right?
So my only request would be use simple language that can be understood by a grandmother.
Yeah, of course, yeah. So the reason you asked me the first question definitely is because you don't like me or something. You know, normally that's where you put the person on spot. So I'll tell you what cloud is according to me, right? So if I have to tell this to my grandmother, right? So to my grandmother, I would say, I'll call her Dadi. So, hey, grandmother, imagine I have one computer and this computer has some intelligence, some compute as we call, it does some calculations, 2 + 2 = 4. Then this computer also has some storage where it can store that 4 number, right? And then this computer can also connect with the internet if I have to send to my friend in a different location, right? 2 + 2 = 4. So essentially there is compute, there is storage, and there is network. These are the 3 big things of cloud. So I don't know if she is still following me, but maybe she is, right? Now, cloud is an ability for you to get as many such computers as you want on demand. So you don't have to be restricted to one computer. So now you are like, hey, listen, I want to do this on 1,000 computers. Sure, go ahead. I want to do it now in the next minute on 10 computers. Sure, reduce it to 10. Next day, again, I want to do it to 10,000. So essentially, you get one window into infinite compute, storage, and network. That would be my definition of cloud.
Super. So, and basically, in simpler terms, can we say cloud would be a remote server and which is very variable? You can increase and decrease the amount of servers you want very conveniently.
Yeah, elastic. So cloud is somewhere a computer somewhere which we don't know, and which has elasticity. So the decreasing and the increasing is the elasticity part. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Wonderful, excellent. So Sujay, second follow-up question to you again. So tell us, what is the biggest problem you're solving in Cloudonics? The biggest problem.
All right. So I'll keep this as if I'm again talking to my grandmother, right? So here's what I tell to a lot of people what we do at Cloudonics. So let's say you buy an iPhone. An iPhone is, I don't know what, 50,000 rupees, maybe more these days, 1 lakh rupees. So the minute you buy an iPhone, you buy a 1,000 rupee cover on top of it. It's stupid if you think about it, right? You paid Apple 1 lakh rupees for a phone, but the next thing you buy is a 1,000 rupee cover, right? In my mind, it is ridiculous. Why would you do that? Why wouldn't Apple give you everything, right? Apple doesn't do that. And I don't want to go into the reason. So similarly, when you buy your cloud provider, let's say AWS, Azure, or GCP, you are buying from the best. But you are not guaranteed the security which you want or which you should have. You're not guaranteed that. It is called a shared responsibility principle. So what these guys are saying, the way Apple is telling you that, hey, here's a phone, but if you drop it, I'm sorry, I cannot do anything about it, right? Similarly, when you buy a cloud provider or when you go to a cloud provider, they give you the best tools, the elasticity, but the security still remains part of your job as a company. So we are the cover for that iPhone.
Wow. Superb analogy, Sujay. Thank you so much for explaining it so wonderfully, so neatly, succinctly, clearly, that it has actually gone to our heads. That security is not given to you as your entitlement when you buy a cloud space or when you buy a cloud server. It's a layer. It's a security layer which is being given to you by companies like Cloudonix and by folks like Sujay. Thank you so much, Sujay, for that initial setup. Thank you very much. Hitesh, coming to you. You have been working in the space of cyber security, and now you're trying to have a lot of securities, apps and layers you have done and developed over a lot of companies in the past, and currently you're working with a asset management company and helping them stay secure. So tell us more about what exactly are you doing to help them stay secure?
Sure. So I would in fact start from like a cloud perspective, like as the topic really relates to cloud, and like tie it back to some sort of on-premises thing and how it differs in cloud, basically, right? So how the cloud evolved, I would just touch base on that. And it would be a different perspective what Sujay has provided as such. When you say cloud for a big firm, big firms, they have some sort of red tapeism in there, and they want infrastructure on the go. Like they want to develop a good infrastructure on the go. That's where like cloud comes in for them. You get all those ecosystem, a lot of applications which are provided by the cloud providers, which are built into that ecosystem, right? Now let's consider typical implementation or typical application being deployed in cloud, not in cloud, on-prem. So you have to procure all the hardware, you'll have to take licenses of the software, and then like you go live with your application, and that could take like a typical 1 or 2 months time, right? And in case of cloud, you can just go live in a couple of minutes maybe, right? Now when it comes to security, you feels like security is too different from on-prem to cloud. I won't say a lot of things are different. You still want to secure your application which was running on-prem, which you want to run on cloud now. The only difference is like you have everything lying in the public domain. You have like a lot more configurations which you can screw up with and which can make your things lying in the public domain. So I would say like I've been focusing on programs, building security programs for companies where we kind of do a layered security architecture. We try to do and we try to build those architectures from scratch. We want to focus on cloud security, container security, the application itself, whether the application itself is secure. So you need to build security into each and every layer. That's what you call the layered approach, or like defense in depth, you know. So that doesn't change from organization to organization. All you need to focus on is on the basics, and get your processes right, and build the right processes over time, you know. So yeah, I'll take a pause here.
Wonderful. So you basically are saying that all the security systems will also help you maintain internal security and even external security, like for example, from hacks and stuff like that?
Of course, of course. So like most of the startups, what they are doing today, and even the bigger firms, of course, they want to offer software as a service. So what you're doing is like deploying your software, which is present on cloud and delivered to the customer. Anybody, if an end user wants to access this over the cloud, they can directly do that, right? Now, first thing, when you access the ICICI Bank site, which is a SaaS service for you, right? what do you think is like whether anybody is able to see your data or not? So you want to ensure that all that connection to ICICI Bank server is secure or not, right? Whether your data is your data or your bank transactions or like any of your private information is visible by anybody else. So you want to ensure that is all encrypted, and like any products which you build, that it goes by default, like you take care of these building blocks and make your software secure.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Hitesh. Thank you for the initial context. Looking forward to speaking to you more in the session. Nakul, over to you. You have been primarily in technology for the last 14 years, now doing a fantastic job of giving people their actual entitlements through a geo platform called Easygov. Tell us, why is this EasyGo platform the number one AI platform for Go government by NASSCOM? What made it number one by NASSCOM?
So this is basically, thinking about the solution, like how actually that is being done right now, and what are the flows in the system that actually are exploiting the underprivileged people or the needy ones. So basically, we went in the details, what all parameters can be extracted from various places, how data can verify the data itself, and how the entitlement can be made as a right to them. So this was a primarily, how we invented the entire EasyGo platform, and understanding the building blocks, the type of verification, and the entire product philosophy lies in classifying the data into 4 different layers, which is type 1, type 2, type 3, and type 4, where in the country like India, where we even don't know where our data lies. Most of the time some data is Aadhaar seeded, available in electronic format. Some of the time it is not Aadhaar seeded but available in electronic form. Sometimes available in third party systems, not even online, maybe traditional Excel sheets or maybe the registers. And most of the time data doesn't even exist. We don't even know whether that data is proven record or not. So we have put our technology on basically top of how to access the data, how to verify the data, and how to make sure the right person receives the right benefit. So that was basically that made us number one in NASSCOM.
Super, super. So basically collecting data from various sources, ensuring it's
Absolutely.
verified, correct, and so that the right person gets the right entitlement.
Correct.
Now, give us some numbers. How many, so is this up and running? I'm so sorry, I don't know much about it, but
this is up and running. We are part
how
of.
many people have already received their entitlements, or give us some numbers, throw some numbers.
So every month, close to 2 million people access our platform in MyGeo and get benefit out of it.
So what benefit are they getting?
Okay, so that is very interesting problem. So if I ask you, Amit, there are many schemes for you for young entrepreneurship in India. Can you name one out of them?
Atal Incubation Center, AIC.
Correct. Anyone else?
That's the only one I know.
Perfect. So in India, we have more than 5,000 different schemes available for different set of people.
Wow.
For farmers, there is minimum 200 plus schemes. For students, there is again a number of scholarship. A number of jobs are also available for different category people. For fishermen, for young entrepreneur, for widow women, for aged people. A lot of scheme are there. India is feeding 80 crore people. We are giving food to them, but sometimes they don't even know what benefit they can avail from the government. So we have created an AI driven platform where a person can come, we'll ask him or her few questions, and we'll tell them which all benefits are available for him, from where he can get all those benefits, what documents he need to produce in order to get that benefit. So that is the USP of EasyGo. So that was like part one. The part two was, now we know these are the schemes you're eligible for. Come on our platform, apply there itself. Our platform has a government interface where government people can come and approve or reject the claims. And through DBT, the claims would be credited to their bank accounts.
Super.
So this is the entire picture, made entire social welfare system very, very transparent, absolutely corruption free, and nobody can stop a needy to get benefit
Wow.
which is entitled for him.
Fabulous, fabulous. I'm glad we're recording this session. We're going to be posting this out. This is a very important thing. People don't know what the entitlements are. I'm just talking in Hindi now because everybody should understand what. So there are this EasyGov platform जो है, it will give you, ये आपको benefit देगा. इस पे जाइए, आपको जो entitlements हैं, farmer हैं, आप startup कर रहे हैं, आप young हैं, old हैं, बहुत सारी schemes हैं, which जो आप avail कर सकते हैं EasyGov platform के ऊपर. वो fantastic work, Nakul. This is superb. Now you're saying 5,000 such schemes. The billions of rupees and dollars are there sitting for you to claim it, right? All you need to have you need to be the right person to claim it. Super work. So one question. So there are also some schemes, since I am from the IP field, there's a scheme in India which says that if you file a patent in India and if a patent is accepted, and if you have an MSME certificate, the government of India gives you 1 lakh rupees. And the same patent, when you file, let's say in a foreign country, the government of India gives you 5 lakh rupees, 5 to 15 lakhs. Okay. Now, and then if you file a trademark in India, after the trademark is accepted, you get 10,000 rupees from government of India. Now, a very blatant question to you would be, how easy it is to get this money from the government of India?
So that's what EasyGov is doing. Okay. So we are, we are becoming partner to government. Why don't, those scheme benefit deliveries, they give us on EasyGov. So government of Karnataka, government of Assam, and government of Chhattisgarh has agreed on it. Now all their, schemes and services would be on our platform, and therefore, people of those states can get direct benefit out of EasyGov.
So what you're saying is, Easy Government not just brings in the central government schemes, it also brings in and collates at one place the state government schemes.
Correct, absolutely. Super. So you can just download MyGov and you must have a glimpse of it. All the schemes are available there that are actually available to you, irrespective of your location.
Super, wonderful. This is great stuff. I'm sure a lot of people listening here now will immediately download the app and start exploring what are they entitled to. Great job.
So just want to add one thing. Most of the time when we roam around the roads in winters, and we see a lot of hungry or underprivileged people, and most of the time we want to help them, but we don't know how to help them. So for you can go to MyGeo platform, and you can search for their eligibility. You'll find a lot of scheme. You can actually help them in a longer run. You can give them home, you can give them shelter, food, everything you want to give them through those schemes.
Super, very nice. That's great stuff, Nakul. This is fantastic. I'm going to come back in the second round. Going to Sujay. Sujay, you know what? There's a guy sitting behind me. He's poking me to ask the question to you. And you know what this guy's name is Simon Sinek. He's saying, start with your why. And he's asking me to ask Sujay, what's his why? Why is he doing what he is doing?
Why am I doing what am I doing?
Why are you doing what you're doing? So what's your why? What's your calling?
I mean, so this answer can be split in many dimensions, but I'll tell you a very simple why we are doing it, right? So maybe two different ways to look at it. So I'll keep the whole business part of it and that kind of thing out, right, for now. So for last good 10 to 12 years, I've been writing code and I've been running large teams which use cloud. And we have seen this problem again and again. The shared responsibility principle. And particularly now that many organizations have, let's say, a lot of cloud accounts or multiple cloud providers. A month ago, MasterCard was banned out of India. I don't know if you have read this in the news, because they were not keeping Indian consumer data on in the Indian soil. So now the apps have to be deployed in multiple geographic regions, right? So we started to see this problem. I started to see this problem along with my co-founder. I'm like, this is a pain. If innovation has to happen, security cannot be left behind. Security is important. So there should be tools available to the people who are driving innovation, right? To entrepreneurs like us, to companies out there. We should build a platform which is easy to use and which can help them be more secure. Now, the meta thought around this is normally our experience tells us that many times, like developers, I'll just use the word developers. So developers have to choose between a application and a secure application, because a lot of security comes at a cost. Security is not, again, it is not easy to just acquire or get. So one of our calling is, can we have a way where our users, developers, infosec people, DevOps, whatever, they don't have to choose between a application and a secure application, right? So can security be like, yeah, I can use a tool like CloudNX and do better with my consumers' data, right? So I think there was definitely a business opportunity, but also all the experience which we went through and saw that how difficult it is to do it by yourself, right? You need a better tool out there.
All right. So it was clearly a problem which you guys were undergoing yourself, and you could not find a solution to it for a very long time, and you thought we got to roll our sleeves and do it ourselves.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. So I mean, we saw this. We were doing this again and again at the places we were working, and given that only 10% of applications are on the cloud yet so far. So if somebody says that, oh, cloud has evolved a lot, not at all. 90% of the applications need to go on cloud, right? There's a long way we have to go, and somebody needs to build tools to make them secure, I guess.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Sujay. Thank you very much for the answer. Hitesh, you're working with a very sensitive organization, asset management company, and security is definitely paramount. What can security breach cause you? So I'm asking this question basically to sensitize security, people working in the security domain. What can cause you and to your company a breach?
I guess that's again a very good question, and I would want to answer it from a perspective like, say, you might have heard about the Sony hacks, which happened a few years ago, and it kind of it was done by later on when they researched and the forensics team went into analyzing the whole cause of it. They found that it was done by an internal rogue employee who left the company and he wanted to take some revenge. But it kind of the whole brand name of Sony was gone in few days, right? Even now, of course, the products are being used, but I'm saying bigger companies, they value their brand much more than, of course, anything else, right? So when the brand value goes down, no company would really want to do that. So security can really hurt your brand value a lot. There was a XSS sort of vulnerability, which we called cross-site scripting. Major vulnerability found on Citibank's homepage that was mainstream media news as such. So that's what security can cause you. It can cause a reputational damage to the company, as long as people build brands for years. IBM has a reputation which it has built in so many years. Would IBM really want to have a security breach in their environment? And of course, being an IT firm or a financial firm, you won't want that, because you are really, a lot of customers, a lot of clients are really trusting you on their data, right? So you would definitely not want to have that in a financial domain. Say Yes Bank or any other bank which doesn't really have a security thing built into it, right? You won't really want to deposit your money there, right? So
that's a good topic, Hitesh. I mean, yes, absolutely. Reputation is affected. You might lose customers, some money, some stock prices might come down for some time. but they again go up because people have short-term memories. They forget all of these things. You know, I mean, Sujay is smiling. Let me ask a question next to Sujay. He's talking about reputation and your stocks going down, and then again come up. And you know the Volkswagen case, right? They changed the software. It was massive fraud, and paid billions of dollars of fine to retune the engine to cause less emissions. It was causing more emissions, but it was showing less emissions. Some BS4, BS5. Some norms and all of that. So it's people have short-term memories. Okay, so even at the security or British oil spill, it was when during the Barack Obama time, there was so many people died and so much oil wasted. People have forgotten all this. Hitesh remembers because Hitesh is from that field, so he has to remember all the news. But people forget. People are forgetting about their security breaches, their data getting lost. Their car is doing more pollution than it's supposed to do. Then why is security still important?
I would say, yeah, I would say at the end of the day, like you like I don't know, like I won't really want to keep my money in a bank which is not secure. Like so,
you know about the Yes Bank fiasco as well, right? And then there were news about other Icici Bank. I'm naming them because all of us was news. They were fraud, and Yes Bank the share went down. The security, but people did not lose their money. The share went down, but people still the number was showing the bank account. Yes Bank has these many thousands or lakhs or whatever. So
it can really disrupt businesses altogether. I would say, like a breach itself can take your IP, or it can really take a lot of your information which you don't want to disclose at all.
Yes.
So that can really cause you a lot of damage in long run. Like it can really disrupt your entire business model maybe.
Absolutely.
So if you have something which you like, say Apple, when they're launching a new product, do they really want that all their product designs and everything are in the market? Say Sony, they're going to launch or release a new movie. The prints of the movies are in the market before the release itself. Would you go and watch the movie at all? So these kind of disruptions really are caused by not really adhering to security best practices. And I guess this is like we can go and discuss it as long as we want, but at the end of the day, companies want to run their business and they want to have their reputation going as well, right?
Absolutely correct. Absolutely. Yes. Nakul, over to you. So Nakul, you guys are doing fabulous work. Everybody knows that. Okay, you are helping people get the entitlements and stuff. How does Easygov make money?
So, so we have basically.
Is it a non-profit or profit company?
No, it is a profit company. It's a proper company. We sell our white label instances to state government, and we charge state government to to launch their scheme on our platform. So like Suvidha in Karnataka, we charge central government as well. Okay. So instead of charging to people, we charge anyway. Government need to have some infrastructure. So understand like that. So if government of India or government or any state government want to launch a scheme, so right now what is happening? Every department in a state has its own portal for its scheme, which is causing two problems. One, that every department need to create a portal. Second, there is no such consolidation of schemes. We are solving both. So we are saying, don't develop a portal. That's not your expertise. Neither you should. Launch your schemes on our application, our platform, so that people can get entitlement. They can know their eligibility, and on the same platform in a unified way, they can apply it for as many schemes they are eligible for.
So just like Swiggy is for restaurants, you are for all the schemes.
Absolutely. We are for all the schemes. Yes.
Wonderful. So this is Easy Swiggy Go. Wonderful. And this is fantastic. All right. So is there some numbers like how much time it takes for a particular person to get the entitlement? Is there a turnaround time? Some KRAs, some tax and all of that? Some
Again,
SLA
thank you
and all
very
that?
much for asking that question. So, since in the current system that different governments had, each department has its own portal, so there was no such mechanism available to implement SLAs on government offices.
Yes.
Say if I am a, say I'm SDM and I need to verify, say, caste record. So there was no such record or no such reports available that in how many days in general I give a caste certificate, but now I have. So
Okay.
due to this centralized platform, the minister of the government or CM can watch number of applications being fulfilled every day. What is the waiting time? What is the turnaround time of government officers? Where does the escalations lies? Where does the fraud lies? And everything of that sort. So we are improving efficiency of government largely actually.
Superb, superb. Excellent. Thank you for the answers and candid conversation, Nakul. Appreciate that. Sujay, we were talking to Nakul, and there was a lot of answers he gave, which was bringing smile to your face. Let me get back to one of the points which he mentioned was companies lose reputations, and so stock prices go down, stuff like that when some such BTs happen. People who actually who's so let's say, and let me take one more example here. So Apple launched the 15th iOS 15 and all of that. So every app that you are now open, you have to, if you're an iPhone, you say, the iPhone asks you that, do you want to give the permission to track A, B, C, D, E? And invariably people say, no, I don't want to give the permission to this app to track my location or any of the data. Invariably. Does it really matter to people whether an app is tracking your data or not? Doesn't really matter to them. So there's also a very good Netflix documentary called, I think, something which talks about how people data is being tracked, and all these big companies are using your data to create fabulous product. This is all security breaches, these GDPR breaches. iOS is trying to bring some madness to the method, but the end user, how important is security to the end user? Does it really matter to him? Sujay.
Hitesh, do you want to go first? You raised your hand.
Over to you. Like, I'll just go next maybe. Question is for you. Please go ahead.
No, it's okay. I'll add to
Okay.
what you say. Right? Yeah.
Yeah, I would say like security and privacy are two different things altogether. Things which you are mentioning here, like people's data is asked for, their location is being tracked, or like their information is being kept in their databases, and then it's been used for marketing campaigns maybe, right? Or they've been targeted for certain ads basically. That's all privacy related stuff. Their information is shared with various companies and they target them. But whereas security is talked about, like when we talk about security, if like why you should care from security perspective, I feel there won't have been talks about Pegasus in the parliament. Otherwise, if you won't have really bothered about security, right? So you just invariably go and say, okay, just use my data for anything you want, or install any other application, which is a free application. What harm it does to your phone or your system, you never know. So it could be like any other application hacking into your information end to end, recording your phone calls, anything it can be doing. So the user is responsible, because end of the day, it's your karma, right? You can't deny your karma.
Yeah. So I mean, so that's a very valid point, actually, what Hitesh was saying about, right? Privacy and security. But here's what I would, again, think about it, right? I had this conversation sometime back with my colleague, and she was asking me, hey, Sujay, would you go for this whole DNA test? There was a time when this 23andMe and so many other applications were doing this, whole lineage and all that stuff. I'm like, no. And so I'll not go into why I said no, but I'll take a very similar example, right? So let's say I use an application, one of the medicine delivery app, right? And if they ask me a question about any preconditions I have, they should not force me, or they should not collect my data in the first place. That's the privacy part, right? So let's say, but I do have to share a prescription kind of thing with them, right? and they ensure that they store it securely. But if that gets leaked, now there are two problems with this. And to your question, like why should an individual care, right? An individual has to care. It is not about whether everybody is releasing or is everybody is getting hacked. It's like this. Is honesty the best policy? It is. And one should care all the time. Now, whether 9999 people out of 10,000 are dishonest, no, it's okay. Like, don't care about those. Like, but I cannot leave my track to be, to follow this adage, right? So now let's say my data gets leaked and gets in hands of an insurance company. I could be denied of an insurance for no fault of mine. And that is a very, very bad thing. Like an application who was supposed to deliver medicine, maybe in the first place, they shouldn't have asked me about my preconditions. And even they asked me for maybe a valid reason, they have now made me as a product. Because it is a free app, I'm a product now, right? Look at the world we are living in. All these free social media apps, we are the product, right? So why it is important? Because of this reason. This is just one example. There can be many more examples we can talk about, right? So, and forget about like there could be government sanctions, there could be maybe criminal penalty going forward. Who knows where we are headed? But as an individual, I may really get affected, and it could really punch me hard, and I may not be able to take that blow in the longer run.
Very good. So this question was primarily asked to sensitize people about the information. I think there's a lot of insensitivity. What will happen if somebody is tracking my location, my data, my privacy? People really don't worry about, don't care about it. They're insensitive about this. So thank you so much for sensitizing this more and bringing the topic home. Thank you very much, Sujay and Hitesh for that. Coming to Hitesh again. Yeah. So Hitesh, in an asset management company like the one that you're working in, I've checked, I've also seen that you're not even mentioned the name on LinkedIn. So why is that so secure?
Yeah, it's a personal habit, I would say, which I learned from one of my mentors. At least don't mention the name of the company you work in. Being in information security domain, I would say like it's too much of sense of keeping your information secure. Pardon me?
Are you taking the job too seriously?
Of course, you have to take your job seriously, and especially if you are into information security, you have a lot of responsibilities on your shoulders.
So is that like those James Bond kind of movies where you have to keep your identity secure in the company you're working for?
Not at all. Not at all. Like a lot of people, as I said, it's just a personal choice. A lot of people do that.
A lot of other people in the company have mentioned the name of the company.
Of course, they do. Of course, they do.
But you have purposely not done that.
Purposely, I haven't done that. And like, if somebody wants to know that, they can very well know my colleagues' profiles and browse through that. So.
How would we know your colleagues? It's so secure. We don't even know who is your colleague, which company you work for.
Okay, I don't want to reveal all the secrets now, but I can tell you quick ways of doing that later on.
I'm just making it lighter. Thank you for taking the stupid question and talking to me about it. Nakul, coming back to you. So you again are doing fabulous work. You're doing fabulous job in the last 5 rounds. In the 6th round also you're doing fabulous work. So Nakul, you said some state governments are coming and joining hand in Easygov, right? So, and how old is Easygov?
This is 6-year-old now.
6-year-old. So how many states are linked to Easygov?
So right now, 4 states, Bihar, Karnataka, Assam, Chhattisgarh, and Tripura also. So in Tripura, we are not doing end-to-end. There we are just showing eligibility. However, in MyGov, which is, Prime Minister Modi's initiative, we're also available on MyGov. We were part of government of Haryana and government of Bihar earlier. So this is like the overall portfolio we have.
So MyGov, in other words, MyGov competes with Easygov. Is that right?
In a way, yes. So MyGov not exactly competes. They use our solution, our white label instance, Meri Sarkar Mere Dwar, and they provide free eligibility only.
Whether you're eligible or not. So
Correct.
they is basically the first check of whether
Correct.
you're eligible for entitlement or not.
Correct.
So do you take data from MyGov?
No. So this is very, very important aspect, of EasyGov.
Tell us the process if you can.
Yes.
Tell us the process.
Yes. So, since you're talking about privacy, and I was wondering about how come we can afford not to ask how data is managed in EasyGov. So because we are taking very, very sensitive data from the user, and we need to keep it as secure it should be. So there are few things, these days, if you have heard about government scams, earlier it was different kind of scam, but now this is data driven scams. Like all the scholarship scams you see, the right candidate is applying for the scholarship, but the bank account in which amount is going is not relevant. It doesn't belong to the right candidate. So similarly, different government officers, they process the applications such that the benefit is going in the people, in people account who are not actually entitled, but they're made entitled. So we need to have some mechanism where data verifies data, where we are able to find out error of inclusion and error of exclusion. That too, the data is kept inside government's control. So for none of our client, we cannot access none of users' data. Data is a property of state government and is kept as secure as it should be. Interestingly, we don't even ask users' name for any eligibility or anything. There is absolutely no data linked with it, and we are the first company who implemented right to forget. So if you come on our platform and you want to you want that we should forget you, will actually forget you. There would be no traces of your information available on the system.
Super. You mentioned that it is the EasyGov platform is Aadhaar stacked.
Aadhaar, yes. So Aadhaar Vault, we are integrated with the Aadhaar Vault in some states, through which we identify what are the identifiers of the information. So we never keep the data, we keep identifiers.
Okay.
So we have hash of Aadhaar to pull your information from Aadhaar seeded place. Instead of having that data in our domain or in our servers, we just keep the pointers, and on demand basis we fetch the data, which is actually consent based. So we don't store any users' data.
Got it. So you have your own servers. You don't believe any other outside cloud server.
No, we host our application on SDCs in general in different governments. But in Chhattisgarh, we might be going with Geo Azure.
Oh, okay. Superb. That's good. So you have, which place in India do you have your servers?
So the different state governments provide us servers in their respective data centers.
Okay. And so do you put your own security layer on the server, or?
Absolutely. It is like N-way security, as mentioned by Hitesh. This is layer to layer security. Each layer has to secure itself from leakage of any type of data.
Wonderful. Excellent.
So definitely, we are in a domain where any leakage would be simply finishing the company's reputation. So government, it would be very hard for government to trust us in that case.
Super. So you also mentioned that this platform also helps reduce corruption. For example, if let's say a person who's entitled for his or her benefit, let's say farmer benefits, and the money is being given to the farmer, how do you want to stop the kickbacks? The farmer is going to again give back to the guy who is issuing the money.
So it would be a simple dedupe check would probably do that, but those are not actually the threats. So duplications are not the threats actually in the government. However, the threats are the wrong person, because of wrong intention, is given money.
Okay.
In EasyGo, the data, so the person who is verifying the application doesn't know whose application this is and for what purpose it is.
Okay.
So say there is some application in which caste needs to be verified. The caste along with KYC would be sent to the person to verify. He cannot know for which type of application or which application or for which benefit I am actually approving it. So he just need to verify that this person holds this caste or not. That's it.
Got it. So in the last 6 years, Nakul, how many people, first question, how many people have gotten their entitlements and how much money has been dispersed through Easygov?
So I'm not really sure about the money part because there are several channels involved in it, like DBT, and sometimes it is direct cash transfer. But as far as entitlements are concerned, this has crossed now 10 billion now, 10 million now. So and particularly we got our pace in last 2.5 years, and right now we are serving like close to 2 million users every month.
Very good. In the last 2.5 years, this has exponentially increased, primarily because
Correct.
Nakul has joined Easygov.
Not because of it.
Back.
It is because
It's okay,
Geo backed us.
It's okay, you can accept it. I'm just praising you. I'm just praising you. Accepting it. You can say yeah.
Okay, thank you. So it actually happened, on the same time.
Yes, I know. Great. Thank you so much, Nakul, for that wonderful conversation. Sujay, over to you, Sujay. So, a Y Combinator company it's like a dream come true for a lot of companies who want to be that Y, that they got that girl which they always wanted to date. Okay, so how do you do it, man? What should startups do to get that girl that they want, the Y Combinator girl?
Just be yourself, I guess. I don't think there is any prescribed doctrine to get, something like this, right? And so a lot of things have to be right at a lot of places. So I'll tell you something which somebody told me, and I somewhere believe in this. So if you were to make a 1 million revenue company, it's possible. 10 million, it is possible, right? But if you have to make a 100 million revenue company, a lot of things have to fall in place. It is not easy to build a 100 million revenue company. Up to 10 million, a lot of people can build companies. It's pretty easy these days. And of course, everything is in relative terms, I'm saying, right? 10 million is also a lot of respect to people who are running a 10 million company. So I think something like YC, where the acceptance rate is like 2%, less than 2%. There's no there's nothing like, oh, you go to quota, you do this, and then you go to this class, there's nothing like that, right? So we have been I wrote my first application, like my own first startup, if you will, 15 years ago. 2005, I remember, I had built an application. So maybe it is a 15 years of overnight success, where you can pour all of that into your application, or it could be maybe thanks to COVID, where at least it has helped some aspects in the world. So cloud adoption increased. Companies started to move faster to cloud for many reasons. And we were talking the security language sort of thing. So maybe that helped. We don't know. So how do you get into YC? I really don't know the answers. I mean, I plan to write how we got into as to what we did and what we saw, kind of thing. But at the end of the day, most of our colleagues and the YC companies which we work with, we see it is not an overnight success. When you speak to these founders, you can sense that, oh my God, these guys know far much more in their domain, in what they are doing, or they are just crazy about things, like they are passionate. And I think that YC processes finds it out in the interview, in the application. So that's the best answer I can give right now. But if there is a specific question anybody has, I'm very happy to just send me your question or anything on LinkedIn. They are accepting applications for winter 2022. So happy to help as much as possible.
Wonderful. Great gesture, Sujay. Thank you for that offer. I'm sure people will reach out to you if they have questions. So since I'm a patent lawyer, Sujay, tell us the importance of IP in the cloud security space. What are you looking at?
So, I mean, I think generally, as you know more than I do, like is not restricted, or IP's value doesn't increase if it is in cloud. I guess it would be a little bit of catalyst because cloud is such a generic term, by the way. Like, everything is cloud these days, and it's like something like air we breathe or kind of thing. So naturally, like if it is a fast growing space, we think if it is the future where a lot of things will be moved on cloud, protecting intellectual right would make a lot of sense, right? And folks like you are helping companies like ours, like, to say that, hey guys, listen, if you are sitting in India, I mean, in our case, we are a US India company. My co-founder is in US. I'm in India. But majority, let's say, if the perception is that this is companies being run out of India, but has to be run on a global scale, like what maybe Freshworks did, or a lot of other SaaS companies are doing out of India these days. You definitely want a way for the intellectual property for this knowledge to be protected. Maybe not in an aggressive way, maybe using the India's philosophy when it comes to protecting our borders, that we wouldn't, like, go at anybody first, but if somebody comes at me, like, I need to have a way to protect, right? Maybe the similar philosophy. So in that sense, I think if companies in India sitting on Indian soil or anywhere else need to do a global business, they need to have tools in place to safeguard the interest when there is a threat. Otherwise, it's all good, I guess, right? So that's how I think about it.
Super, super, wonderful. Absolutely correct. Yes, IP does create some barriers. It helps you create barriers. You can stop competition. You can enjoy the monopoly for 20 years. It also helps you. A lot of my clients have used IP to get investment from investors, because investor will ask you, how are you going to stop competition? Your patent is the answer for that. The valuations go up because of IP. So thank you so much for emphasizing on that fact, Sujay. Guys, this is fantastic discussion. Unfortunately, we have to end now. But before we end, if one tip that you want to give to upcoming entrepreneurs in general, whether it's cloud space, non-cloud space, one tip that you want to give to upcoming entrepreneurs, what would that be? And I will ask Nakul first.
So that is nothing but, identify a concrete problem to be solved and just do it.
Superb, superb. A concrete problem. Superb. Identify that and just go for it. All right, Hitesh.
Same question.
Yes.
I would say, like, there's a lot to be done in the social space, rather than being from IITs and IIMs and building like milk baskets and another delivery store. Just go and solve some social problem, basically, like the waste management thing, or anything on the pollution side, which are like really big problems today. Like they need investment from an enterprise perspective, as well as like a lot of technology research need to be done on that side. So like with AI, with cloud computing, with all these emerging technologies, you have all the platform available. Do the right research and maybe pitch in the right ideas and implement that.
Super, super. Hitesh has very subtly conveyed to all my folks of IITians and IIMs that, guys, stop being a transaction company, solve some real life problems of the world. Thank you so much, Hitesh, for bringing your point home. Sujay is laughing. What's the last tip you want to give, Sujay, to budding people, budding entrepreneurs?
I don't know if I'm entitled.
You are. I'm entitling you.
But I'll tell you what I have gathered so far, I guess. So something which I would plus one on Nakul, which I'd maybe use YC's language. So make something people want. Particularly as engineers, just because you can write code, you'll build the solution first and then look for a problem. And I have done that many times. I still do that. So make something people want. Second, I would say show up every day. Success is not overnight, unless the overnight is 15 years. So the only people in my mind or in my observation who have become successful are those who have showed up every day. Just don't die. In other words, like, don't die in your aspiration. I mean, not like, yeah. And the third thing is, you really don't have to be in this day and age, go to IITs, IIMs or PICT where I'm from. Like, you can be not even somebody who has gone to school, but you can still make something fabulous, right? So you have all the resources at your fingertips. If you want to do something, you will be able to do it. It may take time, but you will be able to do it, right? So don't find an excuse. That's all.
Wonderful. Superb tips. I completely agree with all of you. Solve a concrete problem, solve real problems. And so basically no company fail, founders fail. And Sujay is absolutely correct. Just show up, just do it. This guy, Henry Ford, was 6th grade. Thomas Edison never went to school. These are some, and they said in their books and in their articles that they are successful because they're working on one problem for a long duration of time consistently. They were showing up. And that's what made them successful. Guys, thank you so much. It was a fabulous conversation with all of you. I really enjoyed talking to all of you, and I look forward to talking to you again in subsequent sessions as well, when we do it next month or next month. Thank you again. You guys have been givers. You guys did not shy away from giving away what you know. And with that note, you can, of course, walk with your chest up and nose up because you are givers. Thank you so much. Have a fantastic rest of the evening. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot, Amit and Priyank, for creating this opportunity. In fact, so that people can share their whatever they know at least, and like a lot of people who are really looking forward to hear from them, right?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Sujay. Thank you, Nakul.
Thanks.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye. Bye.